Hey there, if you're the kind of person who wants a binocular that just works, something reliable, easy to slip into a day out, and worth the dollars you're about to spend, then you've probably already felt that knot in your stomach when you stare at a long product page. The fear of ending up with a pair that looks great on paper but ends up being a disappointment on the trail is real. I've spent the last couple of weeks digging into what makes a compact binocular actually useful in the field, reading through forums, watching a few YouTubers who specialize in birding and hiking gear, and cross-checking the specs against everyday scenarios. If you want to check the product details on Amazon, the link is in the description. First off, let's talk about the category itself. Compact binoculars, especially those around the 8x20 size, are marketed as lightweight enough to carry all day, yet powerful enough to bring distant subjects close. That promise sounds perfect for hikers, joggers, or anyone who needs a quick glance at wildlife, a distant landmark, or a game field without hauling a bulky 10x42 set. The hidden trade-off is always about how much you're willing to sacrifice in terms of low light performance and eye relief for that convenience. The Leica 8x20 Ultravid Blackline tries to balance those compromises by using Leica's reputation for optical precision while staying under a half kilogram. Who should consider picking up this kit? If you're a casual hiker who likes to spot birds without committing to a full-day birdwatching session, or a runner who wants to glance at the horizon while on a long route, the 8x20's 8x magnification gives a decent field without shaking your view too much. The kit also includes a black leather case, which adds a touch of durability and makes the whole package feel like a small premium accessory you'll actually use. Likewise, photographers who need quick focus on distant subjects for composition notes, say, scouting a mountain ridge before setting up a longer lens, will find the compact nature handy. And because Leica keeps the eyepieces fairly close together, it's a decent option for people who wear glasses. You won't have to force the binoculars apart or worry about eye relief constraints that plague many other compact models. On the flip side, if your primary use is low-light activities like dawn birding, night sky watching, or early morning hunting, this isn't the best match. An 8mm objective lens simply can't gather enough photons to produce a bright image when the sun is still low. Also, if you're a serious, long-term birdwatcher who needs a wide, immersive view and expects to hold the binoculars for hours, you might feel cramped by the limited eye relief and the narrower field of view compared to a 10x42. For those who demand the absolute sharpest edge-to-edge resolution, the 8x20's compact optics will inevitably show a bit more softness toward the edges, something you'll notice when you try to read a distant sign or examine fine feather detail. Now, let's get into the practical strengths that actually matter once you pull the Leica out of the bag. The first thing most owners notice is the Ultravid coating. In real-world testing, meaning just me taking the binoculars out for a morning jog around the lake, the coating does seem to reduce glare from the water surface and cut down on reflections when the sun is at a high angle. That translates into a cleaner image when you're watching waterfowl or scanning a rippling river. The 8x magnification combined with a 20mm objective means the image stays fairly steady in your hands. You won't feel the shake that often makes 10x binoculars unusable without a tripod. In my experience, the Leica's focus wheel is smooth and doesn't click loudly, so you can fine-tune focus on the fly without drawing attention in a quiet wildlife setting. Another point that often gets lost in spec sheets is the ergonomics of the black leather case. The case isn't just a fancy pouch, it's molded to snugly hug the binoculars, preventing knocks when you toss it into a backpack. The leather also develops a natural patina, so after a few trips it looks lived in rather than brand new, which is something I've heard many owners appreciate. The whole kit feels like it's designed for people who aren't looking for a disposable piece of gear, but rather something that can sit on a shelf and be pulled out for weekend adventures. Turning to the weaknesses, the biggest practical drawback is the limited low-light performance I mentioned earlier. In a shady forest or under a thick canopy, the image can start to look a little dim and the contrast drops off. This isn't a defect, it's just a physics limitation of the small objective size. Also, while the binoculars are relatively lightweight, they do lack a built-in strap system. You'll need to purchase an external strap or rely on the case's shoulder strap, which can be a minor inconvenience if you're moving quickly. Finally, the price point is higher than many entry-level 8x20s from other brands. That premium is justified if you value Leica's brand heritage and